to get the full body thing going.
The kids are back in school, and if you're like us, you're wondering which e-cargo bike is your best school shuttler this year. So we've got a couple of very reasonably priced electric cargo bikes, one from Tern, this is the Tern GSD S10, and one from Benno, the Benno RemiDemi XL. The RemiDemi is a new one. The GSD has been around for a long time, but they rival each other as far as which you might choose to take your kids down the street to school.
Right?
Amy, you are a huge fan of the RemiDemi, and
Yeah.
partly because of these puppies.
Yep.
Walk us through, I noticed this is a rigid fork.
Yeah, you
It's a
bet.
beach cruiser-esque looking bike. It's an awesome style. So walk me through how it might feel having two kids on the back or a bunch of cargo.
One of the really good things about fatter tires is the ability to manipulate the pressure. So you can actually contribute to the feel of the ride by decreasing the pressure on those tires. So even though you see something with a full, rigid front, rear, manipulate that tire pressure, you can make it much, much more comfortable. So that's one of the huge things about these bikes. And also another is that they feel really stable underneath you. So when you have a setup like yours, when you have a couple of kiddos on back or another person, you feel super stable. Maybe even a more stable feeling than that one, but I don't know.
One other difference that's notable that I'm curious of your take on it when it comes down to motors. The Tern series, the GSD series, has the cargo line motor,
Yeah.
which has 85 Newton meters of torque, but tops out at 20 miles per hour as far as the assist.
Right.
Whereas this has the Bosch Performance Sport motor.
Yeah.
So you can bump past that 20 mile per hour assist, but you've
Yep.
got a little less torque on the turbo mode at 75 Newton meters.
Yep.
How might I choose between these two bikes? Where might that factor in?
It's really, really difficult to know the difference between 75 Newton meters of torque and 85 Newton meters of torque, honestly. You might notice it most when you're on something super, super steep and you're loaded down, but that's to each their own. This one, with the ability to go beyond 20 miles an hour, when you come to something steep, you can just rip right up it and decrease your speed as you're going along, but still make it to the top. This one, maybe you chug a little bit slower, but it's just slightly easier to get up to the top. But
one of the things too that I know about your commute versus mine, you have a longer distance to travel and you're going on roads with a higher speed limit with cars.
Yep.
And so that's where in my mind the higher, being able to bump past that 20 miles per hour in the assist makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
You can really keep up with traffic on those streets and make it home a little bit quicker.
Agreed.
Whereas for me, I think, one of the reasons why I chose the GSD is that the cargo line is great for the really punchy hills that I have. And when I've got two kids on the back, that's a fair bit of weight. And so it really helps me to be able to get a really short distance, but very hilly distance, which is nice.
Right.
Another thing that I really like about the GSD is the ability to do a single battery or a dual battery, so that if I did have a much longer commute, or if I just want to preserve the battery life of each of my two batteries for longer, I'm going to go dual battery. You do have that option
Yep.
on the RemiDemi
Sure
as well. And so that's always a consideration. If you have the extra cash at the time of purchase, great idea, especially if range is a consideration, to opt for the dual battery setup.
For sure, for sure. It's pretty easy to put a dual battery on here as well. I mean, easy for a mechanic, let's just say, but it fits right back here. And it contributes to the weight a little bit, but again, you manipulate that tire pressure and it's really it's a pretty comfy ride. And you have this nice saddle, cushy for your tushy.
Both of these bikes are made essentially for a one size fits most.
Yep.
So you don't have to be concerned about trying to size it for your height. If you're someone my height versus someone Amy's height or taller, either of these are going to, in theory, feel really great for you. And we can also adjust the finer touch points. If you don't like that wonderful saddle that Amy is in love with, then we can swap something out that's more comfortable for you. Finally, the only thing that I would note as far as the GSD goes, you do have some of this foldability or compactability of that Tern is famous for. So I can, you know, adjust these handlebars a little bit, and I can also fold this entire handlebar down a little bit lower. So really nice if you're needing to be considerate of space, depending on where you're storing the bike, or if you're wanting to, you know, take these seats off and get it in the back of a Suburban or a really long station wagon, a possibility with this feature too. The RemiDemi total beach cruiser, you really can't beat the look.
No, it
super
looks so
cute. So now let's get out and ride them.
Yeah, let's do it.
We know family budgets are a huge consideration, so we try to make this long-term investment as seamless as possible for you. When you purchase a bike from us, any of the accessories that you get will be at a discount, and so we can really customize the package for you. And another advantage of a bike like the Tern GSD or these cargo bikes like the RemiDemi is that they are a real long-term investment. So you can grow with the bike, starting from something like the Yep seat when your kids are little. They can transition then to just being in the clubhouse when they're a little bit bigger. The captain's chair is awesome when they're even bigger than that. And this GSD and the RemiDemi can actually also accommodate a small adult passenger too. So you've really got something that can be a vehicle for you, a car replacement vehicle for you for years to come. And we've got financing options. We've got layaway, pay over time options. We're trying to get you on this bike as it's going to change your life. We know it.